put your clay in the center and you pound it on there so it doesn't come off. I mean pounding, you're not pounding. You need to pound. You heard me pounding. You pound it on there. So you have to make sure it doesn't come off because you can throw it and hit Annika with it and destroy her masterpiece over there as well.
We are so excited to sit down and talk to Professor Juan Granados, who is a professor here at the School of Art.
Ceramics is probably one of the oldest art forms around. Well, there's the cave paintings, so, you know, which came first, the cave paintings or the ceramic forms that they found in the cave within the caves? About the same, I would say, you know, during the Stone Age. And that's the thing about clay, it's gone from the Stone Age to the Space Age because that's the ceramic tiles on the space shuttle enabled for our space shuttle to travel to and from space. So we're looking at a material that literally has gone from the Stone Age to the Space Age. That's the simplest way I can put it. I was born in Florida, Texas, which is about 45 miles north of here. And I grew up doing migrant work, working out in the fields. Everything we owned could be thrown in the back of a truck along with 7 other kids and my mom and dad, and we would be off to South Texas to work in the fields or to Florida, pick citrus and back again and start the cycle all over and possibly end up in Wyoming and Oklahoma and different parts of the country, really. People don't believe me when I tell them that I started working when I was 5 years old, but I did. My father would knock the citrus, my mom and dad would do that, and they would knock the citrus out of the trees, and my brother and I, being the oldest, we would pick up the citrus and put them in tubs, and then those tubs were stackable, and somebody would come and take them away. So obviously, the more tubs that they filled, the more money they got. So yeah, and then you slowly put pressure, as I mentioned, with your left hand mostly, towards the center and come up slowly to make a cone. So, as I mentioned, you want to center the clay like this in a soft dome, but you want to push with your left hand towards the center, and your right hand can pull the clay inwards. You can center with one hand like this, but you've got two, and so it's easier to do with both, obviously. But by using your right hand to push it inwards towards yourself to control it easier. So you can see that I'm controlling it with my left hand. And again, here's the process. I'm going to push with my left in and come up slowly, and my right hand is going to push the clay towards me as well to help raise the clay. And I'm going to repeat this, and the clay may tear off because it's pretty dry, but I'm going to try to keep it from happening by pressing it inwards towards me. Yeah, whenever it gets in bad lopsidedness, as you described, you can stop and push the clay around to get it in a more controlled situation. Yep.
You have some of your artwork in front of us. Could you go over sort of what inspired you?
I'll start with the platters, for example. The texture, it reminds me of the cultivated soil from plows. So they have that look to them. And then, of course, they look like leaves from perhaps the plants out in the fields. And the images tend to be just family and or friends lately. I had an exhibition of these wall platters at the San Angelo Museum of Fine Arts, And during the opening reception, it happened more than once. I had one person come up to me and take me by the hand and say, oh, I'm sorry. And I thought, well, what happened? I thought maybe that a piece had fallen when I had stepped out. And they said, no, aren't all these people dead? And I said, well, no, they thought I was commemorating people that had passed away and in the platters as an image. And I said, no, that's my dad, and he's over there, and that's my mom, she's over here with these other people, and that's me as a 5-year-old, and other examples of such and such. But yeah, people thought I was commemorating friends and family that had passed away. Sometimes it can look centered. I'll illustrate. That's an exaggeration of something that's not centered. And then that looks centered, but if I go slowly, you can see that it's not centered. I can put my finger to it and that there's a wobble. So it's by feel, really. And sure, you can kind of tell by looking at it, but a lot of times it can look centered because you're going too fast. And when things are moving really fast, you don't see a wobble because like, for example, that's full blast. You don't really see a wobble there much. But you have to use both sight and feel to understand what's going on with your clay. There's about as many ways to do this process as there are personalities as well. Because some people prefer different approaches. So I'm going to push inward and try to collect it towards the center. And I'm going to press downwards slightly so that I can create a controlled mound. And then if you were to practice throwing and making various forms on the wheel, eventually you find that it's easier for you to do certain steps in a different way. Shortcut approach. So you can see that it's coming up.
I can't even imagine just being like a caveman sitting here one day he's like, let me grab some of this dirt and water.
Glazes by accident. They overfired their clay forms and they developed this glassy surface, and they discovered that you can fire clay hot enough that you can create the surface to become glassy, and so glaze was discovered that way. So I continue pushing from the inside to the outside till I get the look and balance that I want.
I want you all to know that I did have the option of having one of these amazing people come behind the scenes and shape the clay. But I said no, respectfully, because we're keeping it honest on this show, and we're gonna make this lumpy vase, if that's what I end up with.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about throwing on the wheel. You just have to be patient and persistent and keep at it from your downfalls. I didn't make anything right away until about 3 or 4 weeks after I started to learn how to center. It took me about that long just to learn how to center. And the clay may stretch a little bit. Sometimes stretch clay can make some really interesting texture, but I'm gonna see if I can get rid of some of that.
Going back and I'm channeling my 11-year-old self, or maybe it was 13, I think it was 13, my 13-year-old self, so that way I can bring those skills, put them forward, and pioneer the path for me to be a pottery artist.
Anyway, so once you've finished shaping the vase, you can go back and adjust it if you've moved it by bumping it with your arm, which happens from time to time.
Hi, welcome back to our lovely show. I am Disha, and this is...
My name's Annika.
And we are going to be doing a very drastic, challenging experience right now. So we will each be given 2 minutes to come up with an artistic interpretation of a word that our lovely camera person, Nathan, will announce. And after we have that 2 minutes, we'll have 1 minute to describe our beautiful creation to you, the viewers. So, without further ado, Nathan, will you please announce what our word is?
Your word is move.
Movement. Oh my
Movement.
gosh. Okay. So we have 2 minutes. Our time starts now.
I feel like 2 minutes is like a lot of time.
Is 2 minutes a lot of time?
You got a minute.
We've got a minute. Our
Got a
minute
minute.
starts now. Okay. No. Annika, would you do this? Would you do us the honor
I
of
have to
going
go first?
Yes.
Okay, so my piece, I kind of wanted to do movement, like tentacles coming out of the water. And so if you kind of look at it from this angle, kind of looks like that. Like a praying mantis, maybe.
I love that you went with
Yeah.
water.
Well, and it's the easiest thing to do is to pinch clay.
No, don't. No. That's a hard technique, and you mastered it quite artistically. Movement. Okay, mine is a little bit. Okay, mine involves water too.
Nice.
However, it's the beach. So this part is the sand,
Oh.
and you can tell by like the texture. And
I love
this
that.
is the water. She's just kind. She's really hyping me
No,
up.
I really do like that
But
because
this-
since you don't, I really understand. I like that.
Thank you. So, for you guys who don't understand, this is the wave, or these are waves, and all of the little textures effect is just how there's always movement in the ocean, and it really shows us that in life there's a bigger entity that really controls all of our movements, and it's just us as little puppets that move about life as if the waves control us.
We should not be
wait,
so good
wait,
at
wait,
it
wait,
like
wait.
that. How do you just come up with
It's
there
the
we
ocean
go.
monster.
It's the ocean monster. It's coming out of the water now.
There we go. Okay, cool. A collaboration.
Beautiful.
I always tell my students that they're as unique as their thumbprint because there's nobody on this planet like them. And so I ask them to look within themselves to try to find the hidden message that they have, because we all have a message to share. And so I always try to get students to realize that they're that unique, and all they have to do is just look back within themselves, how they grew up, how they see the world, how they understand the world, how they interact in the world, and basically it's the gestalt, that overall makeup of who they are. And if they can tap into their gestalt, then they are able to create work that's unique and just like themselves, the personality that they are and the person that they are.